the California Cruise Port Series. I guess that's what I'm going to call it. So let's finish. 8-day cruises. So we have in the San Pedro port, Norwegian Star, and that does a Mexican Riviera with a stop in also in Ensenada. That's good. And then in the San Francisco port, we have Crystal Symphony, which is a one-way from San Francisco up to Vancouver. So pretty much a lot of the same stops that I've mentioned. There's a 9-day cruise on the Celebrity Eclipse. I only found a couple 9 days, which are both Celebrity Eclipse, and they both, one is back to San Pedro, and the other one goes from San Diego to Vancouver, so it's a one-way. So, pretty good. A lot of the same stops here, a lot of it Monterey, Catalina, San Diego, Ensenada. If it's going north, Astoria, Seattle, Washington, Victoria, pretty much the same. So 10-day cruises get into a little more, some bigger itineraries, a lot more ports to call. So in San Pedro, we have the Ruby Princess that will go out on a 10-day itinerary to Cabo, La Paz, Mexico, Laredo, Mexico, Puerto Vallarta, and back to San Pedro. And out of San Francisco, this one is cool. It's Puerto Vallarta, Manzanillo, Mazatlan, and Cabo. I'd love to do that one. So, and then the Grand Princess is going up to Alaska, where the ports of call are Ketchikan, Juneau, Skagway, Haines, Tracy Arm, Victoria, Hubbard Glacier, and Glacier Bay. Oceana Cruises Regatta is also going up to Alaska as well. Pretty much a lot of the same places, adding in Sitka and Wrangell. So, and they're also going through the Inside Passage. Plus there. All right. 12-day cruises. So everything after this is probably like on my extreme bucket list. Like, I want to be on a ship for 30 days, but I want to work my way up to a ship for 30 days. So, all right. So the next ones are pretty much, I'm going to kind of like glance over them because some of them have a lot of the same ports of call as what we've already talked about. So out of the San Pedro 12-day cruise is Princess ships are Ruby, Star, and Royal, all going to Alaska. So you know what those ports of call are. And then the fancy ship, the Silver Seas Silver Whisper is going to Tahiti. So that is obviously a one-way with only a 12-day cruise. It has to be a one-way. So it has stop in Nakuhiva, Marquesas Islands, and then of course the various islands in Tahiti, Moorea, Phi. So, gosh, bucket list extreme there. So, I was fascinated to find a 13-day cruise. I didn't think I'd find one. I was like, really? There's a 13-day cruise? I don't know, 13. But it actually, I'm including it because it actually has a stop that I really want to go to, which is, so this is the Crystal Symphony, and there's a total of 4 sea days. And there's 2 days in Cabo, Puerto Vallarta, Zihuatanejo, and then Guatemala, El Salvador, Nicaragua, and 2 stops in Costa Rica. Zihuatanejo is the ultimate place that I want to visit. It has been on my list since I saw that movie Shawshank Redemption, where he says, "Have you ever heard of Zihuatanejo?" Something like that. I wanted to go there. And then there is a movie called When a Man Loves a Woman with Meg Ryan and I think it's Andy Garcia. And they go on a vacation and they're in this beautiful, like, what do you call those? The pools, you know, the invisible end or whatever they call that. That is also in Zihuatanejo, that particular hotel with that pool. So beautiful. Anyway, I really went off there. Okay, 14-day cruises. There's a few round trips, which of course are the Carnival Splendor and the Miracle, which go to Hawaii. So primarily I haven't mentioned these ports of call, so I will. There's about 8 sea days when you go out of the California coastline over to Hawaii. And the stops are in Maui, Oahu, a couple stops on the Big Island usually, and then Ensenada on the way back to California. Carnival Miracle is actually going to be going to Hawaii as well, but it'll go out of the San Diego port in 2019. Just so you know that. There's some one-way cruises, which are Panama Canal, 14-day. One is out of San Pedro on the Norwegian Star, and that has a few additional stops that I think would be worth mentioning. Cabo, Acapulco, Guatemala, Nicaragua, Costa Rica, Colombia. And then they're going to disembark in Miami. And then out of the San Diego port, the Disney Wonder. They have 7 days at sea for this 14-day cruise. And they will be stopping in Cabo, Puerto Vallarta, Colombia, Grand Cayman, Cozumel, and that will exit in Galveston, Texas. Alright. Now there were some random ones in here that I found, which are cruises that are 15 to 20 days long. And most of them, so if you're thinking like, what kind of cruises for an extended period of time, because I'm thinking when I retire, I'd like to go on some lengthy cruise, but I need to work my way up to that. I also want to get somewhere, go one way, maybe stay in that place for a little while, and then maybe get on the ship again, and then kind of cruise back, or whatever. So when I found these 15 to 20, I thought, that's kind of an interesting time frame, because normally you hear about 7, 14, 21, 30, and then you get into those, you know, world 80, 90-day ones, 365-day ones. So I found some round trip from San Francisco to Alaska in the 15 to 20, so Holland America does it. Out of San Pedro to Hawaii, Emerald Princess, Ruby Princess, Star Princess. Also, the Celebrity Eclipse will go out of San Pedro to Hawaii, which, so from the San Diego port to Hawaii is Holland America Eurodam, Osterdam, and the Crystal Symphony goes out of San Diego port. Here's some of those one-way cruises that I'm talking about in the 15 to 20-day range. From the Long Beach port through the Panama Canal is Holland America to Fort Lauderdale, the Regent Seven Seas Explorer to Miami, the Royal Caribbean Vision of the Seas to Fort Lauderdale, San Pedro Port to Panama Canal, Norwegian Star to Miami, Norwegian Gem to New York, Coral Island and Emerald Princess ships to Fort Lauderdale, the Cunard Queen Elizabeth to Fort Lauderdale, and you can do like an 18-day to Fort Lauderdale, and then they also have an itinerary that says 21 days, which is pretty much the same ship, and instead of getting off in Fort Lauderdale, you go up to New York, so that was pretty cool. And then Regent Seven Seas Mariner to Miami, Norwegian Joy to Miami, Norwegian Bliss to New York, Carnival Legend to Tampa, Royal Caribbean Vision of the Seas to San Juan, Puerto Rico, which That one was the one I was like, that would be awesome because there's a lot of cruises that go out of San Juan. So I could take like a 15 to 20 day, whatever that one was, to San Juan, spend like a week or two in San Juan, and then get on another cruise and come back to like maybe, I don't know wherever, right? So I thought that one was kind of cool. And then San Diego port through the Panama Canal is Holland America, Volendam, and New Amsterdam to Fort Lauderdale. Royal Caribbean Jewel of the Seas goes to Miami. Celebrity Infinity to Miami. San Francisco port through the Panama Canal is the Coral Princess to Fort Lauderdale, and the Cunard Queen Elizabeth will stop in Fort Lauderdale with the 18-day, and again that full 21-day cruise up to New York. That one does that too. So we have what we call repositioning in that 15 to 20-day range. Out of the San Pedro port, if you want to go to New Zealand, the Ruby Princess will be going. Out of the San Francisco port, the Cunard Queen Victoria and the Golden Princess will be going to New Zealand. Out of South America. To South America, you can get on the Celebrity Eclipse for a 16-day cruise from San Pedro to Santiago, Chile. Right? Right? Have some fun in Chile. And they have stops like in Cabo, Puerto Vallarta, Huatulco, Costa Rica, Ecuador, Peru, and 2 stops in Chile before you disembark. Out of San Diego to Lima, Peru is a 15-day on Holland America, Volendam. You're probably getting annoyed with my pen. I meant to like check things off as I was going, but this is crazy, huh? Holland America, Volendam is Cabo, Huatulco, Puerto Chiapas, that's in Mexico, Panama, Ecuador, and 2 stops in Peru. So those are amazing trips where you could like go and then get somewhere like Peru or Chile or Puerto Rico and then have another vacation. I just think it's just amazing. It's my dream in retirement land. So a few other cruises are 21-day cruises, round trip, back to California, which is San Francisco, back to up to Alaska, and then back. And that's on the Holland America Madam. Hope I'm totally saying that one correctly. It looks like I'm saying it correctly. There's also some one-way cruises, which to me these are kind of almost like repositioning, because this is the San Francisco port and it's Holland America Madam, that same one, but it's going to Tokyo. But it's going up to Alaska first and then going over, I believe, to Russia. Yeah, Russia, and then it's going to Tokyo. Yes, 21 days on a cruise. But you get to see Alaska, a little bit of Russia, and then end up in Japan. Out of the San Francisco port, the P&O Arcadia is going to Australia. So that would be kind of fun. It's going through Hawaii, so, well, not all of Hawaii, Honolulu, and then it's going down into Fiji area, and that, you know, the Polynesian area, and then coming into Australia. The Cunard Queen Victoria is also going repositioning to Australia. So that one has 12 days at sea. That's a lot of sea days. I mean, I love sea days, but I like my stops too, so I don't know. Anyway. The Cunard Queen Elizabeth is sailing to New York. So I'm kind of interested in this one, even though it's 21 days. So it's from San Francisco, 24-hour stop in San Pedro, and then you go to Cabo, Guatemala, Costa Rica, Panama, and then you go through the canal, then you go to Aruba, Fort Lauderdale, and then up to New York. That has 11 sea days. 11. So, not as bad as the other one. And then the Norwegian Bliss. This would be blissful. San Pedro to New York. So you go to Cabo, Mazatlan, Puerto Vallarta, Guatemala, Costa Rica, Panama Canal Transit, Colombia. You have 2 stops in Colombia, Cartagena and Santa Marta, Aruba, Curacao, and St. Martin. That better come back when I'm ready to take 21 days off of work or retired. That one. So the other ones that I have are kind of longer days, 22 to 29 days, going to Australia, going a 23-day, going to Cuba. There's 22 to 28-day cruises on P&O, Crystal, Holland America, Princess that go to Hawaii. And there's some either really long ones. Holland America has one from San Diego that's round trip that goes to Mexico. I think it's like 26 days. So, really long. There's a South America one on Holland America, which I'd be really interested in going on that one for a month. And then, of course, Tahiti. Always on my bucket list, Tahiti. So Holland America and Princess does a round trip for around 28 days to Tahiti from California. That would be really great. I mean, the flight alone is astronomical to go to Tahiti. So if it figured out that it would be worth it, I'd go. So the one thing I want to leave you with is that I keep saying my bucket list is like a month-long cruise somewhere. And so I thought, what if I looked to see what I could find that was a 30-day cruise that was the cheapest cruise I could go on for a month. I actually found a Holland America cruise for 30 days at the time of this video for $2,800 per person. That's like less than $100 a day. That's not bad. It's San Diego round trip and it goes down to South America. So it's Cabo, and Huatuca. Oh my gosh, now I can't even say it. It's in Mexico. Puerto Chipas, which is another place in Mexico. And Panama, Ecuador, Peru, Costa Rica, Nicaragua, Guatemala, Manzanillo, Puerto Vallarta. It has 14 days at sea. So half of it is at sea. But the way I looked at it, it's like you stopped at a place, like 1 or 2 places, and then there was like 1 or 2 sea days. And then you stopped at a place or 2, and then it's 1 or 2 sea days. So it was so broken up that you had time to relax in between, so you weren't go, 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 go. I saw you heard me talk about the one where there was no sea days on that Pacific Northwest one. That's crazy. I don't know how anybody can do that. But this one was actually like a pretty cool itinerary. The way they had it broken up in between ports of call and sea days. So I could totally do that. All right, thank you for watching, and I hope you like this 2-part series of California cruises. If you did, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, again, be real with me, people. And hit the little button that's red if you want to see more upcoming planning and adventures and information about travel and cruising. Thanks again, and have a great day.